to the Comic and Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and I am here to review Moon Knight Episode 1. This show has been hype city ever since the trailer. Like, first of all, you know how I like to ramble on about these topics up top. Moon Knight has been one of those characters that's been asked for a very, very long time. I've said it before, and I've said it before in another video, but to me, Moon Knight was up there with Black Panther, up there with certain other. Well, I mean, Black Panther ended up getting introduced in 2017, but he was up there with Black Panther. He was up there with like Captain Marvel. He was up there with so many characters, because like there are characters who you wanted to see introduced into the MCU, Doctor Strange, things of that nature. Moon Knight was up there, dude, and because Moon Knight is such a unique character and such a Moon Knight was almost in the same position of Deadpool, where before the Deadpool movie, Deadpool was this character that like people knew and were clamoring for in the comic book communities and stuff like that, but the wider world wasn't aware of this character. And Moon Knight's another one of those characters. Now he was in a couple of animated series. The first time I ever saw Moon Knight was in Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. That was my first exposure to Moon Knight. My first time ever seeing him. I had never even heard of Moon Knight before Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And then you learn more about him, and you learn that this, like, you know, basic level of this character is, you know, Mark Spector, you know, badass badass, you know, military special forces Marine turned mercenary, is, you know, helping out, is like, you know, going on some mission where he's, you know, working for these people, where he's helping out these, you know, people, archaeologists or whatever in Egypt. They discover some shit. Something goes south. He ends up, you know, protecting one of the female archaeologists. I can't remember her name on top of my head because I haven't read those comics in forever. He gets stuck down there. His love interest gets stuck down there. He makes a pact with the Egyptian god of vengeance and the moon, Khonshu, to become his vessel, to become his Moon Knight. And like, in a way, if you really want to look at the relationship between Moon Knight, Mark Spector, and Khonshu, it's very similar to Mephisto in Ghost Rider, where Ghost Rider's powers, Johnny Blaze gets his powers from Mephisto. Like, that was, you know, well, not from Mephisto, but Mephisto, in the comics, he attached it, he, like, you know, well, we're not going to get into that, but, you know, they have that similar relationship where his powers came because of a being. Same thing with Khonshu in Moon Knight. His powers came from him. Now, they do play it up in the books, like, they play back and forth with it in the books and in most of the modern interpretations, that perhaps that didn't go down like that. Like, the way Mark remembers it is, I was stuck down there, I made a pact with the god Khonshu, he gave me magical powers, we escaped, I survived, and in honor of him, I became Khonshu's right hand of vengeance to, you know, defeat evildoers throughout the night and protect the innocent. But like, they play with that a lot in the comics. Some of the more recent comics. In fact, a lot of this Moon Knight show is based off of some of those recent comics, with the whole dissociative identity, the identity thing, kind of like Split. Now, they play with it a bit differently here than they did in Split, but there's still that idea of like not having control of your body and not understanding what's going on. But like, that's enough of me rambling on about the actual character, about the hype leading up to this. Awesome trailers after awesome trailers. You got Oscar Isaac, who is an amazing actor. You got Ethan Hawke, who I will never let anyone forget that he talks shit about Marvel. He talks shit about Logan. He talks shit about the entire genre. And here he is, cashing a paycheck, playing the villain in an MCU project. So that tells you right there how the world works. Anywho, so this is a new interpretation, and as some people have stated, Moon Knight has been reinterpreted so many times that, you know, there is no definitive version of Moon Knight, other than the costume, other than the whole Khonshu thing, other than, you know, some of the, other than maybe, you know, like, nowadays it's becoming more common that he has the whole split personality, you know, dissociative disorder thing, but it wasn't always like that. And even so with this character, there was a lot of room to do what you wanted with. There's a lot of, and in this story, in this show, there's a lot of it reminds me of how James Gunn approached Guardians of the Galaxy, which is there are certain aspects that, sure, we got to get those right, but but most of it is just free will. Like, like James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy was so good that it changed the way that the characters were designed and written in the comics. Like, Star-Lord has pretty much, since the movies came out, been written in the same cadence and kind of humor of Chris Pratt. Now, he's not exactly always written like Chris Pratt, but, he's a lot more relaxed and whatnot, where in the past he was more like a space version of Captain America. You know what I mean? Like, even the way his outfits and in the more casual wear, because like Star-Lord has kind of like this uniform, but he doesn't even really have that anymore. It's more casual, just like it is in the MCU. I've said it before, Rocket Raccoon used to be Australian. Like, that was the voice that Rocket Raccoon sounded like. It's what it sounded like in the video games. It's what it sounded like. It's what it sounded like when he'd pop up in certain things. It's what it sounded like in the animated movies and animated things I've seen him in. That's what it sounded like. It's only until the Guardians came out that he started having that kind of Boston like this Brooklyn, like Boston accent. But it really wasn't until the movies. So I feel like this Moon Knight show might have that same effect, because Moon Knight, even the costume, the whole mummy design. Now, I've seen some people have a shout out to that design in the comics, that there was something that was very similar, but not exactly like this. And making it more supernatural too, because a lot of times in the comics it always feels like he's supernatural, but he's like super supernatural. But they might be pushing that a bit here too. This is I'm not sure if this is the best pilot. I still adore the Falcon and the Winter Soldier pilot. I adore that pilot to death. I adore it to tears. Like, I just remember, like, to me, it still has the best action sequence in anything that they've put out on Disney Plus. Is that Falcon and the Winter Soldier, particularly that Falcon action sequence with the planes, still the top-notch best action sequence on Disney Plus. But this is neck and neck with it. This was one of the best pilots, first episodes. I think it did such an amazing job of this is more in line with WandaVision, and like I've seen some pushback on online. Like, you've seen it, like when the first reviews came out, this thing had like a 70, had like a 68, and people were baffled, confused. Now it's up to like an 83, 85 right now, so it is what it is. Which I wouldn't even really put too much thought into that, because Hawkeye and Falcon and Winter Soldier both started off with like 60s, 70s, and something, and by the time they end up wrapping up, they were in the 90s. Like, Falcon and Winter Soldier was like a 90, Hawkeye's like a 91. So by the time they end up wrapping up, they end up getting in the 90s. But this, to me, it's more in line with WandaVision in terms of it's not a show that's going to give you the answer. It's more of a mystery than Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Hawkeye were. Even more of a mystery, even What If. It's less straightforward. In this story, the events that happened a lot of the events have already happened, and we're catching up. So the story follows Stephen Grant, right? Stephen Grant, just this mild-mannered guy working at a gift shop in London, played by Oscar Isaac, except he's got this weird disorder where he loses track of time. Sometimes he sleepwalks and finds himself in random locations. He doesn't know why or where. So he ties himself to the bed just to make so he doesn't go off. He has all these protocols, all these measures to make sure that he doesn't wander off. And he's living his life, he working at this shitty job, getting shit from his boss, and there's little tidbits. It's one of those shows. Like I said, it's a great mystery that has this. It's like everyone has described it. It's Memento. It's kind of like a Memento movie, like Christopher Nolan's Memento movie. There's a bit of but it's kind of like Christopher Nolan's Memento movie, except with this other kind of supernatural / over the top thing to it. Like, the thing about it is that everything's going right, and then he wakes up in the middle of nowhere. His jaw's messed up. He's in this whole scene. He's in this whole scene. Guys are shooting at him. He has no clue what's going on. There's a disembodied voice insulting and telling him what to do that he doesn't like. The entire first episode. And I've seen some people complain about the first episode. I've seen some people complain. I've seen some people say that it was edited badly. That it was confusing. That that they don't understand. That you didn't get enough. I've seen some people complain about that, and I say to those people, like, first of all, it was designed to be a bit discombobulating and confusing because they're trying to put you in the shoes of Stephen Grant, that he is discombobulated and confused. It's classic mystery story stuff where you come into the like. I mean, how many stories has it been about like it's classic shit? Wake up, there's a gun here, there's a body there. You have no clue what happened. And then you have to pick up, like, the events have happened. We have to piece together how we got to this point. And then, you see flashbacks and we slowly, like, clearly that's what they're going to do, right? Clearly, like, they haven't laid all their cards on the table in this first episode because they want to reveal it later. We find out many, many things. I don't want to spoil anything, but we find out many, many things that maybe Steven ain't the only one inhabiting that body, and that some of his other personalities and whoever that voice is in his head, they have other ideas about what he should do. And this man is just stuck in the middle of it. Steven has no clue what's going on. And I think it was a wise idea to center it around Steven and make him this. Because in the comics, Stephen Grant's actually like a millionaire. Like he's kind of his Bruce Wayne persona in the comics. But they did something different here by making him more of an everyman, by making him more of an ordinary guy who's thrusted in this crazy situation. By doing that, you allow the audience to go on the ride with him. They could have easily have just made him like Mark Spector, the badass, just right off the bat. They could have easily had done that, and it would have, maybe it would have worked. But by making him that guy, first of all, there's comedy opportunity in it, and also it makes it easier to explore. Like every world, like most things end up having something like that. Like you don't always need a character who can help you guide through the world, but by making Oscar Isaac have to play both the character who knows and both the character who doesn't know, it's this interesting dynamic because it's an interesting acting opportunity. I see why Oscar Isaac jumped at the chance to do this. Also, Ethan Hawke's in here playing this very spooky, very creepy cult leader. And he has this air about him, and the way he looks at people, it's like he's trying to look in your soul. It's very creepy. Like I said, I can't really say too much more without spoiling anything, but the last shot was the money shot. It was amazing. It was cool. This was an awesome first pilot. I am excited to say that Moon Knight lives up to all the expectations I had. I can't wait for next week's episode. It's great to have Marvel back. It's great to know, too, that, like, this is going to be going, like, we got this, then Obi-Wan, and then Miss Marvel, man, it's great to have Marvel back. I mean, like, it hasn't been like that long, but, I miss being able to watch Marvel weekly. Thank you guys for joining the Comic Movie Show. Oh, almost forgot. I give Moon Knight episode 1 a 9 out of 10. Thank you guys for joining the Comic Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. What did you think of Moon Knight episode 1? Were you excited? Did it underwhelm you? Comment below and let me know. Thank you guys again. See you on the next one.